I just escaped a deadly cult. I'm about to reveal their horrifying secret. Not many can say they've lived in a dangerous cult their whole lives, but I can. Since the day I was born, I've lived in the cult village, located deep in the woods of Utah. The only people I've ever known have lived here and never left, physically at least. Women would typically disappear in their 20s, while men lived into their 70s and died peacefully in their homes. Everyone shared one common guardian, the Holy Leader, and we lived by the rules of the Lord, even ones that included stoning those disobeying our laws. The only thing preventing any of these things from coming across as unusual to us was the fact that everyone thought they were normal. Never once did I question the rules and laws of the religious cult, until the day they did something traumatizing to me. The day had come where I had gotten pregnant. I was only 22 when I found out, and I knew my life was over. The second a woman was found out to be pregnant in the town, she would mysteriously go missing. As stated previously, women disappearing in their 20s was a normal occurrence for the village. However, if anyone did question it, the Holy Leader would reply with one sentence: "She's moving on to the next stage." No one not within the Holy Leader's main council was ever able to understand what exactly he meant, but it was nerve-wracking for all girls, even if it was the way of the Lord, as he also claimed. Some speculated the girls were being killed, sacrificed, or running away, but all of these beliefs couldn't have been further from the truth. It was beyond anything any of the common folk the cult had even been exposed to could imagine. The day I realized I was with child, I was scared of having to face the next stage at such a young age. I knew I wasn't ready for whatever the Holy Leader had in store for me. I asked my husband to keep my pregnancy a secret, but alas, he was loyal to our guardian and told him anyway. The same night he had ratted me out, I had awoken to the cult leader and his council surrounding my bed. Their serious faces and unblinking eyes were enough to make anyone queasy. Within seconds, a cloth was aggressively pushed onto my face. At that moment, I assumed my life was over, though it was the exact opposite. I awoke in a dark room, a room in which I'd remain for the next few months, alone, waiting, scared, and believing that I had died. Once in a while, a plate of food would come in through a small slot in the wall, and I'd wake up to a new clean sanitary bucket and a new batch of clothes sitting next to me most mornings. The only time I'd hear noises other than my own was when the occasional whispering could be heard through the other side of the dark room. Thankfully, it wasn't completely dark, as the slot in the wall emitted some light. It was the only thing that kept me sane for the next 9 months. Finally, when I truly thought I was going to live there forever, the wall in front of me was moved to the side, revealing the man I knew as my Holy Leader. I was very visibly close to giving birth and knew it had to be less than a day before I'd go into labor. I glared up at him, wanting to demand answers as to why I was being put through this torture. However, I wasn't able to form the words. Being alone for so long in that room had taken a toll on me. Tears fell from my eyes as I was yanked up onto my feet against my will by 2 council members. My body was dragged down a hallway and led into another room, where a bed surrounded by strange equipment I had never seen before lay waiting for me. Before I was able to process anything else, I had been strapped down to the bed, stopping any chance of escaping that I had. Immediately, I was blindfolded, but I could feel my body being pocketed and prodded by the strange instruments I knew nothing about. I could feel myself slipping in and out of consciousness, but I was able to stay present to hear the words: "The Lord has let the baby survive. She's ready for the next phase." "The baby's okay?" I asked. The blindfold was lifted off of my eyes, and I was now face to face again with the Holy Leader. "Yes," he assured me. "It is time for you to know the truth, child." "What are you talking about?" "Shh," he hushed me. "It's very simple. First, your baby needs to be born. You aren't going to hurt them, are you?" "No," he whispered, "though I can't promise the same for you." "So you are going to kill me?" I whimpered. "Not kill. Well, not exactly." I shook my head. The claim was absolutely ridiculous. "And how are you going to do that?" "Simple. We're going to feed you to your baby." Without another second passing, a sharp pain shot up through my whole body, causing me to yell out. "The child!" a council member exclaimed. "They're coming!" It was unlike anything I ever felt before. Strong cramping in the abdomen, groin, and back, as well as an achy feeling. Couldn't help but be felt as I could feel my baby ready to leave my body. I screamed out as the feelings intensified, and I was met with several needles being stabbed into all sides of my body. Whatever I had been injected with had caused the pain to become numb, and I was able to push my baby out within minutes. "She's beautiful," the Holy Leader gasped. "She's the perfect vessel for your soul. Once she's eaten the last of your body, you will become purified and renewed for your new life in our community." "No!" I spat. Without being able to feel any pain and still hyped up on adrenaline and fear, I realized that he had unclipped one of my restraints while taking out the baby. With all my strength, I was able to rip my limbs free from the straps holding me down. Before the council or leader could react, I was able to push them out of the way and run out the door. Without another thought in my mind, I dashed down the hallway. I ran down staircases and sprinted through rooms as I inched closer to my escape. The hallway seemed like it had infinite turns, each hallway having dozens of rooms. I could only imagine how many people were in this place with me, and how many never made it out. The front door was soon in sight, and a smile crept onto my face as I realized I had done it. Escaped. I could finally tell the townspeople the truth about this twisted cult, and save everyone from living a sick lie. At last, dripping in blood at the door, I grasped the handle, turning it frantically. The door swung open and I stumbled out into the cold night air, gasping for breath. My heart pounded in my ears as I looked back at the imposing structure that had been my prison. I was free, finally free to expose the horrific truth of the cult, to save others from the fate I had narrowly escaped. But as I turned to run, my foot caught on something. I looked down to see a thick, heavy chain attached to my ankle. its other end secured to the building. Panic surged through me as I tugged desperately at the chain, but it was unyielding. Then the chilling realization hit me. They had never intended for me to leave alive. As I struggled against the chain, the sound of slow, deliberate footsteps approached from behind. I turned to see the holy leader, flanked by his council, emerging from the shadows, their faces twisted in a grotesque semblance of satisfaction. Behind my ears, he whispered in a chilling tone, "You made a big mistake."